Hey, what's going on? It's Pure, and this is the second episode of the RWBY Open discussion. This one is Volume 4, Chapter 11, if I do believe. I always forget which one it is. I should probably write that down, actually.
Yeah, no,
Next
it's
time I think
chapter
about
11. You're
it.
good.
Okay, that's what I thought. And if you're new to this, the open discussion is basically all we do is talk about the latest episode. So, warning now, spoilers are ahead. And let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to start off actually real quick with my biggest thing that I want to talk about, which is we now have a closer
Okay.
look at the Grim that Ren had ran into when he was a child, that horse Grim, or the horseman, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about that because this is totally different from any other Grim.
True.
This is something completely new that obviously it took down an entire village. It looked like on its own, honestly. Or at least when we saw the previous episode before, it looked like it had done it by itself. Could be wrong. I guess there was others in there. Maybe there was. I don't know. But I want to talk about that. And man, it looks cool as shit is the first thing I want to say. It looks
Yeah, it
really
does.
cool.
Uh,
Also, the questions can be brought up, so hold on, I'm going to stop you. The question I want to bring up is how is Team Ranger, I think that's what they are, how is Team Ranger going to handle this new Grim?
so that is a good question. I don't know if Team Ranger is gonna have to come up with a new strategy and try to fight it. It is super, at least from what we know, it's powerful enough to take down villages. I mean, it probably did bring other Grim with it, and it might be alone now, so that might, you know, be better for them, but they still have Crow, who is a casualty on their side right now. He's poisoned, can't really do anything. So I don't know if they're going to try to take him and run for it, or if they're going to try to fight it. And if they do, are we going to see something new from maybe Ren and Nora? Or is this going to be kind of like Crow's last stand type of thing?
So this is going back to your theory that you had made in the previous episode of he's already released all of his information, he got poisoned, you think he's going to lead up to his death or whatever, and you think this is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I would rather it not. I would rather if Crow is gonna die at all. I think it would be better if it was up against some of the main enemies and not like the Grim. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. This thing is super strong, and from what we know, Team Ranger is kind of on their own, unless Raven decides to make an appearance. I don't see who else would come to their aid at the last minute.
Well, I guess Raven was, or at least what we thought, Raven was following Crow. And that's why he didn't release
Yeah,
any more information. So maybe there is a possibility.
but I don't know, because at the same time, it seems like she's not ready. She's not going to come and help. Because I mean, if she was going to do that, she would have probably already done it by now. She's
True.
kind of all about even if it's family, leaving the weak to die, and you know.
Only the strong survives. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Well, I started off with talking about the new Grim that we have met. So I'm going to let you take the next little topic. And then we'll just switch off from there.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go in chronological order, and by all means take the reins whenever you want. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with Tyrion. Actually, uh, obviously he has that first little scene. Cinder's working on her new maiden powers, and Tyrion comes back and he tries to explain to Salem that he poisoned Crow, even though he wasn't able to get Ruby for her, and he kind of failed his mission. He's still trying to make up for that in the fact that, hey, Crow's not going to be a nuisance for us anymore. And then Salem just tells him that she's disappointed in him. And for whatever, I thought it was very weird. For whatever reason, he becomes severely distraught. I didn't think that Tyrion would really value her opinion that much. I can understand him being angry that, someone so powerful, or maybe like even afraid, but does that kind of fear cause him to, you know, cry
Yeah,
the
no,
way
he
he did?
broke
I don't know.
down.
It seemed like genuine sadness, and I was kind of weirded out by that, and I was wondering why. Why does he value her opinion so much? Is there something else that's there
I
other than she's just more powerful than him?
it's really funny that you say that because I do have notes written down currently right next to me of like the 5 little topics I want to talk about. And that is the first one, or at least my question is, what is Tyrion and Salem's connection? Why did
Yeah.
he break down like that? I mean,
It was just very odd. And I understand, like, we also get the little insider look to after he breaks down, he goes completely berserk, and then that sadness turns into like a rage, and then rage turns into just
joy.
this crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he starts killing this what do you call them? I know I heard you say it like a few times
Was
today.
that a
It was,
Ursa Major,
yeah,
I think it
Ursa
was?
Major. I have no idea. I just call him Bear Grim.
Yeah.
And yeah, no,
Um
he went from tears to being pissed, and as he is killing the thing, he went to joy. So like, obviously he's not sane. He's not sane in the
yeah.
slightest.
And I understand why that scene was used to like portray his insanity and how absolutely just messed up this dude is in the head. But still, I like before that, I don't understand why he would be completely sad. And this episode just brought up like several more questions. We hardly get really any answers as to what's going on. It's really just more what is going to happen next, what is going on with these
Yeah,
characters.
this really did just bring in more questions rather than answers. Okay, so I'm gonna take over now again. And the next
Go
topic,
for it.
going I guess in chronological order, is Yang is now trying to leave, and from the way it sounded, she left Ty a note and was just gonna head out. He does mention like him and Crow talked that you did speak to Raven, blah blah blah. But my thing is I'm not entirely for sure. Is she gonna go to Mistral and look for Raven, or is she gonna go and try and find RWBY?
Yeah, I had the same question. Um, that's very weird. Uh, Crow Crow has given her the information so that if she wants to go look for her mom, she she has the ability to. But is she going to do that? If I was in her shoes, I'd probably just go look for Ruby.
I would
Like
probably
at
do the
that
same.
point. So I want to say she would go look for Ruby, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if this is the point in time where Team Ruby actually starts getting back together.
Well,
I don't. That might come down later, and we'll talk about that more with the other characters as well.
yeah. Well, I brought up my little
Yo.
topic, so I guess now going in order again, it's your turn. Bring up the next topic.
Yeah. So along with the whole Team Ruby probably not getting together at this point in time, Weiss was the next one to come up,
Mm-hmm.
and she has clearly stated that she is going to find Winter, and she's heading to Mistral to do just that. But also with Weiss's little thing, she's finally escaping the castle, quote unquote castle.
Mm-hmm.
But we also see another dispute between Ironwood and Weiss's father. And I'm kind of curious if I don't know if her father commands this kind of power, I guess, but would would he try to overthrow Ironwood in some way? Would there does he possess that kind of manpower, that kind of strength to try to take out Ironwood, or at least, because Ironwood has clearly stated, "Hey, I am closing down Atlas. No one's going anywhere." Which I also think that maybe Ironwood is playing into Salem's hand, because after the fall of Beacon, that's kind of what someone would expect,
Yeah.
for him to just close the borders and keep his people safe. But that actually might be the bad move here. And I'm wondering if that move is going to cause Weiss's father to react in such a way that Ironwood have a bigger problem within his own nation.
I don't know, I've already kind of stated the fact I really don't like Weiss's family besides Winter. Like, Winter's the only
Yeah.
one I can stand. Well, I mean, Klein, the butler or whatever,
Yeah.
he's cool. He's chill. And, no, I can definitely see where you're getting at with this, but I don't think anything like that is going to happen necessarily. Because here's my thing,
Yeah.
right? We have seen Weiss's father actually slap Weiss, and
Uh-huh.
so I don't think he's afraid to do things. I think he's got the guts to do a lot. So, but I don't think he would cause something within the own nation or whatever.
Yeah. At the same time, like, yeah, Weiss's father is obviously an asshole or a jerk, and he is not afraid to do certain things. At the same time, he seems like one of those people who he would only act like he has any kind of power when he knows that when I'm trying to say that I'm trying to phrase this.
The correct way.
He wouldn't stand up to someone who has as much power or more than him. Like, he's kind of the pick on the smaller dog kind of person,
Yeah.
That's what I get from his character, but at the
That
same time,
he'll only talk
we
down
don't
to
know too
someone.
much about him.
Yeah, he'll only talk down to someone like if he has any leverage against them.
Yeah.
Other than that, he wouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna keep kind of in the same Weiss direction real quick because I wanted to ask a question. I wasn't very for sure if they did or not. Did they ever explain Klein, the butler, his eyes changing?
So far all I
Because
think we know is that it's tied to some kind of personality change with him.
I want to say it's emotion. Because
Yeah.
towards the end of Weiss's little segment, she runs into the library screaming, "Klein, Klein," and he kind of walks out and he's like, "Keep your mouth shut and be quiet." And his eyes are red at that
Uh-huh.
moment.
hmm
So I just wanted to know, like, did you know anything about his whole eye change and what was up with that?
I mean, they kind of briefly showed it when you first meet Klein. It does seem like that it is tied to some kind of either emotion or like personality change, but other than that, we really don't know too much about him. Um, he seems like you said, cool, and that he's very close to Weiss and actually, a supportive figure for her. And I hope we get to see so much more from him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know that much about him.
All right. Well, I have one more topic, so do you have any more? Because I only got one left that I really want to talk
Yeah, I
about.
only have one too, so go for it. I think
Okay.
I think I know what you're going to talk about. So,
Um,
so
This is
let's
gonna
go ahead.
go. This is gonna go with Blake, and this was at the
Yeah.
very end of her whole segment that she had, which is She quote unquote, it's time to take back the White Fang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm excited for
Um.
this. I am really excited for this. Because this is going to bring in a bunch of fighting and there's going to be a bunch of destruction. Like, this is going to take a huge toll.
Yeah. Uh. So not only is this going to bring a bunch of action, but I've talked with some friends about some various other things, and some of the things I agree with them, some of them I don't. But one of the things that this kind of leads to is the question: Are all of the main RWBY characters right now, are they gonna go on to take the place of someone else higher up in the ranking or become these bigger figures? And what I'm curious about is Blake gonna become the new head of the White Fang? She already has the past, what she's already been affiliated with the White Fang in the past, and obviously she cared for the White Fang. It was just that Adam was really messing up their image, and so she had to leave.
And that's the thing, right? Is that she was, I want to say, close friends with Adam, or at least it felt like it was when the Black trailer came out and you saw her and Adam taking and fighting down all these people on the train. And that's my thing, right? Is if she's going to take it back, she's going to have to confront Adam. But even watching the opening, you see Adam fighting Blake, and that she is just not fighting back.
Yeah.
Is she going to get the courage to honestly fight back and take the White Fang back? Or is she not going to be able to do it because she still considers Adam a good person or a friend?
That's a good question. And so, along with that, would it be her? Would it be somebody else? Is she saying that, hey, it's time to take the White Fang back, let's go right now? Like, let's take Sun and maybe like my dad and whoever we can get from what is it called, Menagerie, and let's go take the White Fang back for ourselves? Or is she gonna head back and join up with Team RWBY again and then work towards her ultimate goal?
I don't know, because like you guys said how like is Team RWBY gonna get back together, and we already have seen that like Weiss has said that she's gonna go see Winter in Mistral. Then we have Yang, who said, like, is she gonna go see Raven, who is in Mistral or heading towards Mistral, or is she going to go see RWBY? Which is RWBY heading to Mistral? I'm pretty sure they are.
My question isn't.
And if they're all heading to Mistral, if they are all heading to Mistral, is this where a huge fight is going to break out? Is this where the center point of everything, of giant war, going to break out? Because you have Raven and her little clan or gang or whatever you want to call it. Then you have the White Fang, who I don't know. They didn't necessarily say anything about White Fang and Mistral or anything like that, I don't believe. But like, you have all these characters going back, so I would assume that somehow Blake would be tied in with that.
So Mistral is like one of the continents.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where RWBY Team Ranger is right now. And apparently Winter is somewhere in there, and I'm pretty sure Raven is also somewhere in there. But like Team Ranger, once they figure out what the hell they're doing with this new Grimm, they're ultimately trying to get to Haven. Is everyone going to just converge in Haven? Is Weiss's ultimate goal to, hey, let's go find Winter, and then, whoa, I just ran into RWBY and everyone else as well. Oh, and now Yang is here, and oh wait, Blake too. Whoa! Like I don't know if everyone's just gonna kind of collide on one spot, or if they're all gonna continue to break into their own,
I don't know.
things.
I really think they're going to end up just colliding or whatever, just because they're all going basically to the same place. So I feel like they're
Yeah.
eventually going to run into each other, or maybe they all are going to take their own separate paths still. But I would assume Team Ranger is going to eventually meet with all of them along the way.
Yeah. And if Haven Academy is the next place to go, like to get attacked by Salem's group and whatnot, then Adam would probably be there as well. And that's probably where Winter is going. And yeah, I think Haven is the next big place. I think that's where everyone's gonna kind of join together, and then it's gonna turn into this crazy battlefield. It's gonna be intense.
And what it really is going to be good, and it's going to bring up a lot more to talk about in future episodes. Because this episode, like we said from the very beginning, didn't really bring too many answers, just more questions.
Yeah, and I've gone over all my questions.
I have as well, so I think I'm just going to say we're going to have to call it there, because that's all that we really needed to talk about. There wasn't too much to discuss. Then again, we already said that this episode was going to be much longer than the previous one, which was 40-something minutes long. By the way,
Yeah, it was lengthy.
Just going to say this now. I really don't care who the fuck watched that. I didn't even personally watch it. I maybe edited the first 10 minutes and I quit. Because holy shit, that was that 10 minutes itself took me an hour. But anyways, I think it's going to wrap up this RWBY discussion. And, yeah, it's time for the awkward outro. Yay.
Peace.